Hello, everyone. This is Amir with RealtyPass. Just waiting a few minutes here, maybe one more minute for some other people to chime in here before we get started. If you have any questions, just kind of housekeeping, you can ask them via the chat window. It should be in the bottom right-hand side of your screen if you're using Zoom for the first time. If you have any questions, I'll try to answer all those questions as well, as much as I can. Just go ahead and raise your hand inside the Zoom app, and I'll try to get to those as well. Everyone that's attending today also will receive a link to the recording of this. So if you miss something, don't worry, we'll get that over to you so you can replay this webinar as well. Okay. Okay, so we'll get started right now. Thanks for coming, everyone. I'm going to show you a couple of things here. This particular webinar is focused around how to create transaction files inside of RealtyPass. It's super easy. I'll show you in about 60 seconds how it works. If you have any questions afterwards, again, feel free to ask. There's a lot to cover here, so we're trying to do these 20 to 30-minute webinars to kind of go over all the amazing features that we've created for you guys. So we are integrated now as far as checklists are concerned with Northwest Multiple. So if you're a member with Northwest MLS, you'll have all the functionality I'm about to show you. If you belong to an office that already has RealtyPass, you'll be able to do the what we call the concierge. So what that means is simply put is right off this login page, which actually, let me go to our realtypass.com site. From the homepage of RealtyPass, just click on register to log in. That'll take you over here. I already have an account, obviously, so I'm just going to cut and paste this. So a couple things. First of all, we designed RealtyPass to be super simple so that you don't have to even log into the software if you don't want to. So for those that are just worried about technology or afraid of technology or just simply in a hurry, you don't have to worry about it at all. What you do is you click on the Let's Go button down here. Paste in your email address that you've been assigned to or given that when you sign up for the account. Click on Submit. If you belong to more than one office, here we are using the Agency 1 account. So we have HQ, Las Vegas, and Irvine. We'll just pick one over here. Click on Continue. Then it asks you to simply upload your listing or purchase agreement. So I've got a purchase agreement. I'm going to drag and drop into this space here. It's Form 21. And that's it. We just created the transaction for you. So there's no data entry, manual re-entry of data. Once you have a mutual acceptance on your purchase and sale agreements, you just drag and drop them in here. If there's additional transactions you wish to create, click on the Create Next Transaction, drag and drop your listing agreement, Form 1A, any other forms that we've already trained RealtyPass to use. So I have a question here. Somebody raised their hand. Is this Brianna? Brianna, if you can only see a blank screen, that may need to refresh your screen. There is a plugin that Zoom uses in order to view this. If you still have problems, I'll go ahead and talk to you after the class, and we can go ahead and get that set up for you as well. Okay, so now I'm done with this. So that's all there is. So if you're super busy, don't have time to go ahead and do all the details of creating a transaction, this webinar is now over as far as that's concerned, if that's all you want to do is create transactions. What I'm actually going to show you, however, is I'm going to log into the application now and show you what actually happens behind the scenes. This is your dashboard. And you notice over here is the MLS ID 1521287, which just so happens to be the purchase and sale agreement that I just created. So everything's all automatic. You don't have to worry about parsing the data yourself. So two things can happen. I can click on this. It brings up what we call our quick view. Okay, so this just got created today, December 13th. There is the purchase agreement demo PDF file that I just dragged and dropped off the login page. So everything's been done for you, including the checklists here that are served up automatically. by creating this transaction. Your managers will be able to mark items off the checklist as you submit additional documentation. And you notice here the progress bar increases as items are approved. Or maybe, for example, the MLS printout, let's just pretend you don't need this one. We'll just say it's not applicable. Legal description is required. So basically, this is how we audit files as far as compliance is concerned. If you ever want to view your files, click on the PDF, and you have here, you can view the PDF documents, as many as you have, by clicking on the previous or next button as well. Let me open up the left panel over here. Okay, the other tab here is commission information. So when I click on the $ here, it brings me to the fee breakdown of your transaction. So you can put an expected commission amount. For example, I'll put in here just for demo purposes, $4,000. Let me just zoom in on this a little bit. And the closing date will be, let's just say it's on Monday the 16th. So we'll pick Monday the 16th. Okay. Then when your manager rather receives the commission received amount, he can log that here, put in 7,000, and the date in which it was received, we'll say on the 9th as well. So you notice here is that you have a pie chart that shows, graphically speaking, the breakdown of all your commission and fees. If I want to look at a detailed view of this transaction, I can just click on the photo or anywhere else that takes you right to the detail view. And now I have full flexibility to see the entire transaction from start to finish. So for documents, again, you can preview them this way. Go back, you can rotate them, download them, even email them to a customer. We automatically attach the PDF document down here. Just put in who it's going to, subject line, and your message. The other really nice thing about this transaction is you can invite whoever you want into it. So this can include your buyer, your seller, the listing agent, a selling agent, escrow officer, and so forth. So simply by putting in their name, and let's say I'm inviting the selling agent in this case. I'll go ahead and submit that. What happens now is they show up automatically down here. They will receive an email invitation to click on a link in order to join you and collaborate with you on this transaction. Now, all invited guests can do a couple things. Number one, they can see only your documents that you want them to see, and they can see all the notations for the transaction as well, all the digital logs and conversations you have back and forth with each other, okay? So if you don't want to give them access anymore, simply click on the delete icon. It'll ask, are you sure you want to delete this user from your transaction? And simply say, yes, we'll delete them, okay? So you can invite whoever you want. These rings, by the way, that you're hearing are notifications, which show up here as an alarm bell. So whenever something happens, you're doing something in the software as far as a new PAC member is added or removed from a transaction, a new PAC member is joining your transaction file. Here we received a message saying that this transaction that we're demonstrating 4 minutes ago was successfully automatically created via our concierge service off the login page, okay? Let's click out of here. The other nice feature of the transaction creation process that I wanted to mention also is this wonderful thing that allows you to email your documents in directly into the transaction file. What that means is anyone that you've invited to join a transaction is considered a collaborator. So if you hover over the information icon, basically it's a whitelist of anyone who joins your transaction files. So if I wanted to add Billy Bob to this transaction, I would click on the plus invite button, add Billy Bob. Now Billy Bob, once he accepts the invitation, can email documents directly into this email address as well. So you'd never have to really log into the software to even add documentation if you don't want to. So technically everything can be done off the login page for creation purposes, and then subsequently through email without ever logging into the software once, okay? For those power users who want to use all the functionality, I'll go over the next couple of steps. Again, this is your commission, shows you the breakdown, total debits, total debits including D&O taxes, which if you are gonna sign up as an administrator, I would be happy to talk to you offline how to get that all set up. We have unlimited commission plans, unlimited tax settings, and so forth. So for our brokerage, example brokerage here, we have 1.5% B&O for state tax and 0.15% for local taxes. our transaction fee of $250, and our tech fee of $145. So the total fees out of $7,000 commission in this example is $510.50. If you wish to credit the transaction for whatever reason, we'll just do sample credit. Again, this is an administrative function. Oh, $250. Let's go ahead and add that in. So now we have a green sliver here of it representing 3.4% of our total commission as a credit. And if you're referring commission in or out, you can select internal referral or select the external referral and fill out this form as well as far as who is owed a commission. Okay. Down here is the total income of $7,250, total expenses of $510.50. So the total commission due to the agent is $6,739.50, represented basically 89.5% of the total commission pie. Okay. Now in January, we will have Northwest MLS IDX integration in this tool. So what I'm about to show you next, by clicking on no photo available, I have to perform this task manually at the moment. Let me go over to our RealtyPass folder, our home images. Let's see here. Where are the home images? There they are. And I'll just go ahead and pick all these property photos, let them upload. All this will be done for you once we have that update. And I'll give you a little preview what that looks like. So once you upload all your photos for this property, you can rearrange, resort, even remove. If you don't like this picture of a bathroom, you don't like this photo, delete that photo. And again, in January, you'll have MLS upload feature where you can just type in the Northwest MLS ID number and we will auto-populate everything for you here that you're seeing here today. So everything I've showed you is basically a little bit of a manual process for now. We have a lot of items on our roadmap, including a flyer tool and a website solution, a whole bunch of things that are going to tie into this tool. So that's why we have that functionality. So now we have a carousel here of all the photos. Workflows is another main attribute of the transaction system. We have a bunch of workflows you can select from. For example, this is a listing of mine. These are all the steps I have to take for a particular listing. I can go ahead and apply the workflow by clicking Apply Workflow. And there are all the tasks. I can delegate tasks, remove tasks, mark them as in progress, or mark them as completed if I wish to. If I want to modify a task, I hover over the action column, click on the edit button, and now I can modify this task. Maybe it's not a follow-up phone call, but an email instead I have to send out. So if I save this task back out again, email client, let me save it out. Now this changes over here to an email task to email the client, okay? And then we're very big on, you can create, of course, additional tasks as much as you want as well. We're very big on tracking everything from transaction creation to completion. So if you click on the activity feed and I scroll all the way down here, we log everything from the time the transaction was created to the time the status was changed to updated status, who added documents, who reviewed those documents. Here it says the status was changed to, this document was changed to approved status. These are all the ones that were approved. Here the transaction status was changed to active status. And whenever a file audit occurs, you also get an email to your personal email. It shows up here in your alerts and also inside the mailbox application inside of RealtyPass, which I'll show you in a moment. Before we get on to that, I wanted to show you, let's actually go back to the dashboard. So when you're on the dashboard, if you want something just to be able to see all your business very quickly, this drop down over here is transaction status by updated, active files, your commission received files. If I look at all my commission received, these are the 4 transactions that the commission was received, but there may be missing some paperwork, which means I don't get paid yet. So I can easily click on any one of these, for example, and then click on the photo to go into the detail view because I tend to like that view better and see exactly, here's the commission received, $5,678. However, I'm missing 3 items on my checklist that my office manager hasn't approved yet. So I'll go ahead and approve these just for demonstration purposes. Now my transaction is 100% complete. And I can go ahead and approve this for payment. And so now this goes into payable status. You notice over here. So payable status means these are going to get paid out to you this afternoon in our case, or whatever your office manager decides to pay you, whether by check or direct deposit. Let me go back. This is what we call our board view, which has transactions by different statuses from new to updated, active, received. And you can just hover over any one of these, right or left arrows, or simply scroll. I'm using a trackpad on my MacBook Pro. So I can easily scroll around. You can grab cards and move things around. This applies to all the modules that we have in our application, whether it's leads, which we'll talk about in another webinar, contacts, and other features that we have. What I want to show you is mailbox, just to demonstrate what the correspondences look like. So if I go into our mailbox module, you'll notice here that 11 minutes ago when we started this, a transaction was successfully created in RealtyPass, and this is what it looks like. So here it says, hi Amir, your transaction for the address below has been automatically created in RealtyPass. There's the address. And then the message also states, you can also send documents directly via the email address. So whenever you create a transaction off the login page, just retain this email so you can send subsequent documents rather to this transaction directly. So again, no need to ever even log in if you don't want to. Whenever a member is added or removed, this simply shows, we noticed a new PAC member is joining your transaction. If everything looks good, great, no actions required. If this was an error, go ahead and contact your office manager immediately. And then of course, all office audits also happen through here, and you'll be able to see all your messages here. I'm gonna try to find one here before transaction status. This is what it looks like. So this is for another transaction in Burien that we have going on right now, but we will log in green color those that are approved, and in red all those that are still not approved on the checklist. So you always know where you stand with your transaction files in real time. Okay, I think that's pretty much it as far as transaction creation. I'll just end this whole discussion with our transaction pass. If I click on this pass that is installed on the dashboard for you, you'll notice you can look at all your transactions the last 30, 60, and 90 days based on status, payable, received, and other statuses that are available, updated and new. In this case, I'll just click on the one that we just approved to a payable status, and it drops you right back into the transaction again. So there's always multiple ways of reaching a transaction file, whether it's through the alerts up here, whether it's through the dashboard transaction pass, or whether it's through this little panel over here on the left-hand side based on status. So again, I can look at payable, there's that transaction again, click on it, gives me a quick view. Now again, if I want to add additional documents, it's not a problem. I just simply drag and drop them into this drop zone, and it allows me to add additional documents in real time for review. Once you add a new document, the status will change to updated, which alerts your office manager that they have to come in here and take a look at your file. And that's really all there is to it. Okay, so I'll be hosting a couple webinars next week regarding our leads and our lead scoring system, as well as how to do contacts and set up teams as well. This is next Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday of next week. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me at info@realtypass.com, and I'll be sure and send everybody that's on today the link to this recorded webinar so you can review that as well at your leisure. All right, thanks so much everyone for coming. Appreciate it.